Hey everybody, this is D Hunter, bringing the action figure review. Today, we're going to look at the McFarlane Mortal Kombat Classic Sub-Zero. I got this guy from the McFarlane toy store. He arrived today, so let's take a look at the packaging. Mortal Kombat Classic, ages 17 plus. This is not a toy. I always think it's hilarious when McFarlane puts it on stuff. This is a toy, just an awesome toy. And right next to that, McFarlane Toys. Sub-Zero, the bottom's like a controller. Here he is in the package. Looks like we have a couple of alternate hands on the back. Sub-Zero, a little description. And at the bottom, there's this barcode if it helps. So no further ado, let's open him up. Alright, now they got this figure out of the package. Here he is with all the accessories laid out. Doesn't come with very much. He has 2 alternate hands, totaling 4 interchangeable hands, and a display stand. Before I tailor all that, let's talk about and check out the figure. So this is Sub-Zero. Originally, Sub-Zero is sort of a character that's used by 2 different brothers, By-Han and Quad-Lang. Originally, By-Han was Sub-Zero in Mortal Kombat 1, but then starting with Part 2, Quad-Lang took over. And I believe that's who this guy's going to be, as I think this is Sub-Zero from Mortal Kombat 2. Sub-Zero is always a badass ninja that can control ice, manipulate cold temperatures, and create ice constructs like weapons and clones of himself. So let's take a closer look. Now, when they released the Mortal Kombat 11 Sub-Zero many years ago, I always wished they would release a classic version as well. And, well, better late than never, here it is. He's got his signature mask around his face, you can see his eyes, and then sort of black cap covering the rest of his head. He's got the big sort of shawl, blue on the sides, nice texturing going on there. Double-jointed elbows, double-jointed knees, armors on the knees and shin. I'm guessing there's no reuse from the original Sub-Zero, but I'm betting that him, Reptile, and Scorpion share a lot of parts. It would have been nice if it came with some sort of weapon. The 2-pack has like ice constructs and that stuff. They could have included that with him as well. And a closer look at his face and head sculpt. It's fairly basic. The mask has a nice sculpt, but all looks pretty accurate and pretty the way it should be. I like it. This is the Sub-Zero that I'm familiar with. And then, here's the figure, broken down as far as he can go, with all of his removable parts detached. Now let's check out the accessories, starting off with the boring stuff. Here's the display stand. Typical McFarlane display stand we've seen plenty of times before. It says Mortal Kombat Classic on the bottom. It's very thin, very basic, but it gets the job done. And now for his hands. He has a total of 4 hands, 2 left hands, and 2 right hands. Here's Sub-Zero with his first pair of hands. These are his fists. And then his second pair of hands. These are a pair of gripping hands. The right one, a little bit smaller grip than the left one. And now the 2-pack version of Sub-Zero comes with all kind of goodies and accessories. We have alternate frozen hands, some frozen size, and then a frozen head with spinal cord, or just a spinal cord itself, or a hand with an ice construct coming out. These are interchangeable with this version of Sub-Zero, but I think this guy should have come with at least some of these accessories. As you can see, you can use these frozen hands on this version of Sub-Zero, but they look kind of weird because his arms are not frozen, and holding one of the frozen sides as well. You can imagine Sub-Zero, just after using a fatality, freezing the opponent and ripping out a spinal column. And here, using that hand with the attached ice effect. And just like I expected, there seems to be absolutely zero reuse between this Mortal Kombat Classic Sub-Zero and the Mortal Kombat 11 version. And this is the version I really wanted the whole time. This is the Sub-Zero I'm familiar with, the one from my childhood. And the only differences between the single release of Sub-Zero and the 2-pack version. The 2-pack one has completely white eyes, and then semi-transparent frozen arms. There are now 6 figures in the Mortal Kombat Classic line that utilize the same base body. And there are a couple versions of Scorpion, Sub-Zero, and Reptile. Now they've taken a pretty good look at the figure and its accessories. Let's check out his height. From bottom to the top of his head, standing about 7.1 inches tall, which can translate to around 18 centimeters. And for his articulation. Starting with his head, of course, he can rotate side to side. He can look up a pretty good amount, down pretty nice as well. He can tilt his head from one side to the other. Shoulders on a ball joint goes up about 90 degrees, up, down, around, all that good stuff. He's got a bicep cut, double jointed elbows, His wrists can rotate, and it's hinged as well. His torso, he does have a ball joint there, but the softgoods overlay kind of makes it useless. And he's another one on the waist, and really has the same problem. You can rotate him the littlest bit, but not much is going to stick, because this thing is really prohibiting a lot of it. I mean, you can get it to turn a little bit, but just not that much. Forward and back, I mean, you can, I guess, use the waist, but really not much out of the torso there. Legs, complete as splits. McFarlane style hip joints. Rotation it's minimal, but there. Then you go forward about this far. If you kind of stretch them to the sides, avoid the loincloth thing. Double jointed knees. Then his ankle. Forward and back. Rotate. Tilt, rock. And toe articulation. Now let's check them out. Next is some other action figures. Starting off with some of their Mortal Kombat figures. Here are both of the McFarlane Mortal Kombat Classic Subzero figures. And here, next to the regular Mortal Kombat 11 Subzero. And here he is with all the Mortal Kombat 11 Subzero figures. They made 6 of them. Here's Subzero with the rest of his wave. This is wave 1 from Mortal Kombat Classics. Scorpion, Sub-Zero, Liu Kang, and the Red Platinum Katana. And here he is next to the wave 1 2-pack. This is Liu Kang versus Mileena. Then, with the single releases from wave 2, Reptile and Raiden. I don't believe there's a Red Platinum in wave 2. And now, with the 2-packs from wave 2, Raiden vs. Scorpion, and Liu Kang vs. Reptile. Here's McFarlane's entire Mortal Kombat Classic collection. We have a total of 12 figures and 7 characters. Liu Kang, Katana, Mileena, Raiden, Scorpion, Sub-Zero, and Reptile. Now, I have no idea what's next in store for the line. I assume there's going to be a wave 3 with some single releases and some 2-packs. My guess is right now McFarlane's just kind of sitting back and waiting to see how everything sells for the first couple waves. And hopefully it's doing well. And here's McFarlane's entire collection of Mortal Kombat 11 figures. Although they made a lot, they were mostly paint variants. There were so many characters left on the table. Here's Sub-Zero, next to a Mezco Mortal Kombat 10 Katana. Obviously, she's a much smaller scale. Now let's check them out. Next is some action figures from different various companies, so we can see how he fits in both scale and style-wise, in case you will know which lines you can mix him with. Since he's a McFarlane toy, they are typically the 7-inch scale. I'm going to start off my comparisons with some of the larger action figure lines I collect, and then work my way smaller. But first, let's check him out with some of his McFarlane Toys brothers. In front of you are 5 different action figures, all from McFarlane Toys, all 7-inch scale. And now, with some Jack-specific wrestling figures and Diamond Select toys, here's Sub-Zero next to a pipe wrench, and here he is with some DC Direct and NECA figures. Then, with both some Mattel and Jazzwares wrestling figures. And now, with some Mezco and Mattel DC figures. Next, with some Mafex and Hasbro Marvel Legends. And finally, with some SH Figure Arts and Jazzwares Fortnite figures. So overall, I think it's a pretty cool McFarlane Mortal Kombat Classic Sub-Zero. The classic version of Sub-Zero appeals to me much more than the modern version, but that's because I'm mostly familiar with this one. Here are my complaints about the figure. The lack of accessories. My god, couldn't it come with something? They could have at least reused the same parts that they released with the 2-pack. And then the torso articulation. It's pretty nice, but it's all very limited with the softgoods overlay. It's not really that big a deal. Neither one thing is a deal breaker for the figure. But what you get out of the package is pretty much just the figure. Yes, he has alternate hands and a display stand, but no actual accessories. It's pretty much like a bare-bone version of Sub-Zero. And tons of accessories are readily available for them to reuse and put out with this guy. Now the plastic on him feels a little bit different from the older McFarlane Mortal Kombat 11 figures. Their plastic is a lot more harder plastic, and he's a lot gummier, kind of like a Hasbro figure. That's not really a bad thing. So sculpt, paint job, excellent, no issues there. Accessories, pretty much non-existent. And articulation, it's good, but could be a little better in the torso area. If I had to rate this guy, I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10, and I feel like maybe I'm being a little bit generous, but I do like Sub-Zero. This is his main classic traditional look, and he's one of the main, most memorable or known characters for the Mortal Kombat franchise. I'd say Sub-Zero, Scorpion, Raiden are probably the top most known figures. And then Johnny Cage and Liu Kang, others like that. At least in my opinion, I feel like Sub-Zero is the most known McFarlane. At least to me, I feel like Sub-Zero is the most known Mortal Kombat character out there. So I'm really happy to have him in his traditional look. So this is D Hunter. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say about the video, add to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you guys real soon.